Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Meheden, and this is my character analysis of Troy Maxson on how past traumas affect Troy Maxson's personality development and relationships. I'll start off by introducing the topic and my thesis statement, then move on to Troy Maxson's past, his personality, his downfall and why it's important, and finish off with the works cited page. Troy Maxson is a character or the protagonist in the story The Fences, written by August Wilson. My thesis statement is that Troy Maxson's traumas are a key factor in the shortcomings of his personality, which affects his attitude towards his family and his surroundings. I first want to talk about Troy Maxson's past so you can get a good understanding of why Troy is the person that he is in the story. There's no doubt that Troy Maxson had a traumatic childhood and youth. He remembers when his mother ran away when he was 8, being left without a mother in the household. He recalls his father, quote, whipping me like there was no tomorrow, end quote, as well as waking up with, quote, both my eyes swollen shut, end quote, after their altercation. This leads to Troy fleeing home and now homeless, resorting to theft to stay alive. As a robbery goes south, Troy stabs the victim, resulting in his imprisonment. His 15-year incarceration is where he learns to play baseball, however, is never given a chance to play in the major leagues, despite his exceptional talent, due to the racism towards African Americans in the early to mid-1900s. These experiences will undoubtedly change how Troy views the world and will ultimately inhibit the development of Troy's personality. Despite the losses Troy faced in his past, he manages to get his life in order once he is free from prison. His first step of progression is where he marries Rose. He states, quote, I had gotten all that foolishness out of my system, end quote, indicating his desire to move on from his past. He accepts the responsibility of being a father and providing for his family. We see that Troy is a strong, hard-working individual, saying, quote, I do the best I can do. I come in here every Friday. I carry a sack of potatoes and a bucket of lard. You all line up at the door with your hands out. I give you the lint for my pockets. I give you my sweat and my blood. End quote. We see the devotion and the pride Troy takes in providing a life to his kids and wife that he never had. Troy is also a storyteller, and a great one at that. He can attract attention through the stories he lays out. He shows depth in his stories and makes them have meaning, in addition to getting a laugh out of from the listeners. Bono claims that Troy, quote, got more stories than the devil got sinners. Troy is stubborn. He refuses to accept the $10 he gave to Lions. He also cannot accept that he might have been too old to play in the major leagues, which may have been a bigger factor than discrimination based on his race. He also refuses to let Corey play football and follow in his footsteps, but rather insists he learn a trade like fixing cars. In addition to Troy's stubbornness, we see Troy's unfaithfulness to Rose when Bono sees Troy, quote, walking up around Alberta's house, end quote, and later confirms his affair when Troy confesses to Rose saying, quote, I'm gonna be a daddy. I'm gonna be somebody's daddy, end quote. Troy tries to exonerate himself by saying, quote, a man's got to do what's right for him. I am sorry for nothing I did. It felt right in my heart, end quote. We see how Troy fails to see his unfaithfulness as a wrongdoing. His self-centeredness doesn't allow him to understand the pain he is causing his wife, which has been loyal for 18 years. In the story of The Fences, Troy Maxson tries to be the man his father never was, but without a guide, he finds it difficult to live out. We see that when Troy brings his daughter from Alberta to Rose, Rose does not punish the child and agrees to take care of her, but refuses to be Troy's woman. Troy breaks the trust and bond he had with Rose, which severs the only, quote, decent thing, end quote, that ever happened to him. Troy's little emotional connection and overprotection does not allow him to let Corey carve his own path in life. This forces Corey to leave home in order to live a life he thought was worth living. Throughout the story, Troy Maxson refers to the white man giving credit for furniture, his father, and even Corey as the devil. It is interesting how Troy sees the wrongdoing of the ones around him and refers to them as the devil, but cannot identify the devil that is within himself. Troy refers to the Bible when it says, quote, be ever vigilant, end quote, but fails to prevent the devil from intruding his soul, giving into the temptation to cheat on Rose. Troy placed barriers between those around him, which enabled him to lose connection with those he cared about, ending in the betrayal of his son, brother, friend, and even his wife. In the end, we see how similar Troy's life was to his father's, indicating the environment that you grow up in has a serious effect on how your life proceeds. Troy was not a bad man or a bad father. He just failed to realize that times change, and if you don't change your actions or attitudes with the time, you will be left in the past, unable to progress and change for the better. And we end off with a works cited page where I used the Norton Introduction to Literature textbook, as well as an image from the web. Hope you enjoyed my character analysis of Troy Matson from the story The Fences. Thank you.